So very good morning, Rakesh and Tirthak, very good morning. Only two of you are there in the class with Shaurya Dikshit also. So let us start the class. So yesterday we studied about the limited liability partnership, its feature, what is the difference between LLP company and normal partnership, or you can say partnership, unlimited partnership. And also we saw that what happens in absence of agreement amongst the partners regarding the LLP and the partners mutually, what happens. So today we will be studying that who can be a partner and the other features of the limited liability partnership. So any individual or a body corporate may be a partner in an LLP. Okay, so even companies are allowed to be a partner in the LLP, like companies can be a partner in other partnership firms, which are unlimited partnership firms also. But now if you see over here, one important thing is that one partnership cannot be a partner in the LLP. Why? Because partnership, unlimited partnership or partnership under Partnership Act 1932 is not a body corporate. It is not having its legal existence. That's why it cannot be a partner in LLP also. So any person may be admitted as a partner in an LLP in accordance with the LLP agreement of the LLP. So usually name of the partners are mentioned in LLP agreement or any of the supplementary agreement. However, LLP agreement is not a mandatory requirement. Again, the agreement is not a mandatory requirement. If agreement is not there, then Schedule 1 of the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008 will be applicable and the provisions will be as per given in the law in the Schedule 1. So it is not necessary to have a agreement, but it's always good to have an agreement because there may be partners who may be employing differential capitals. So in the capital sharing ratio, sometimes the partnership sharing ratio is there. So it is not understood at all that the partners will be sharing the ratio in the ratio of their capital employed. So it's always good to have a partnership because the Partnership Act means the LLP Act says that if there is absence of agreement, all partners will be equal partners irrespective of the capital employed by the partner. So it's always good to have a partnership agreement or LLP agreement, which actually clearly defines the relationship amongst all the partners of the LLP and the LLP and the partners separately. So that is, and such type of agreement may not be mentioned at the time of registering the LLP, but it can be even in a supplementary agreement also, even afterwards. For example, some partner has been admitted after the LLP has been formed. So his agreement may be in any supplement agreement which should be registered with the along with the other documents of the LLP as such. Okay, so this is about what the partners are and how the partners who will be the partner. So what is the eligibility of a partner in order to be a partner? So on incorporation of a limited liability partnership. So now here, if you see carefully, the word incorporation has been used for limited liability partnership, whereas for the company formation, the unlimited liability partnership, the word formation or registration is used. Okay, so incorporation means you are forming a body corporate which is having a legal existence. So it itself says that it is having a legal existence. So on incorporation of a limited liability partnership, the persons who subscribe their names to the incorporation document shall be its partners. So those likewise, like in the company, those who are subscriber to the memorandum and articles of association are the partners. Here, those who will be subscribing to the incorporation document of the LLP will be the partners. So any other person may become a partner of the limited liability partnership by and in accordance with the LLP partnership agreement. So afterwards also, so what will happen to if the partners are to be admitted afterwards? So no problem. Partners can also be admitted after the incorporation also, because there are two ways of being a partner in case of LLP. Number one is by subscription to the incorporation document, and secondly by entering into an agreement after the incorporation. So any other person, those who are not at all the subscribers to the LLP agreement, can also become a partner in the limited liability partnership by and in accordance with the LLP agreement. So in accordance with the LLP agreement, some more partners can also be included. Next is about the qualification of the individual partner. So individual shall not be capable of becoming a partner of LLP if he has not been found to be sound mind by a court of competent jurisdiction, he is undischarged insolvent, he has applied to be adjudicated as an insolvent, and the proceedings are pending, right? So these people are not at all eligible. And even now here, if you see, there is no means even minor can also be a part of it through its through his guardians. Minor can also be a part of the LLP. He can also be admitted in with LLP through his guardian, which is prohibited in case of partnership. Okay, so other things have to be there. Means all the requisitions of a valid contract has to be there to become a partner in the LLP. Okay, for the contribution. So a contribution of partner may consist of a tangible, movable, or immovable, or intangible property, or other benefits to the LLP. So contribution here means the capital contributed. So what about the capital? So any contribution is acceptable, maybe tangible, maybe movable, immovable, intangible property, or any benefit which any partner may be providing. So the value of that benefit can be calculated, and that benefit may be included as a capital for the LLP. So money, promissory notes, and other agreements are also there. Okay, so money, promissory note, other agreements to contribute, cash or property, contracts for service performed, contract of service to be performed, these all are the valid contributions. So these all are the valid contributions to be done. So means there are various ways how you can give a contribution towards the LLP. So here we can see there is no such restriction on how to just how the ways you can contribute in the LLP. Next is the obligation of the partners to contribute the money or other property or other benefits to perform the service of a limited liability partnership shall be as per limited liability partnership agreement. So all the obligation, all the liabilities will be in accordance with the agreement only. Okay. So any other benefits, if they are to be to subscribe, then also this has everything. So what you can what you can note over here is in LLP, the subscription document and the LLP agreement is the key elements which actually govern the entire things in case of LLP. So anything which is governed by the partnership agreement has to be there LLP, and in LLP, and LLP has provided a flexibility for preparing the partnership documents, and even it is so flexible that it has also told that you do not prepare any agreement, still we have one schedule 1, so it will be applicable where the agreement is silent regarding any of the clauses which are given over there, or if you can have agreement on those, well and fine. Okay, so that will be totally agreed and that will be followed. Okay, so any question up till here to any of you? Any question you would like to ask? Come on. No questions? Should I ask you? Please raise hands. How many of you have completed your assignment, which I gave you yesterday only? Yes. How many of you completed the assignment which I gave yesterday? Come on. Only Shaurya Dikshit, and rest all will copy him. Huh? What about rest of the people? That is the reason why you people you are not able to understand properly. I just told you, have a pen and copy in your hand. You will be able to complete the assignments here itself. Upon you guys, what to do. Okay, fine. Let me then. Rakesh Raika, you tell me what is difference between company and LLP.
Yes, sir. In company, the owner has like it's up to him. He has unlimited liability, but whereas in limited liability partnership, they are bound to only have limited liabilities. So their personal assets might not be included in recovering the losses or anything like that.
Good, good, good. Very good, Rakesh. Manan
Thank you,
Goyal,
sir.
another difference. Another difference, Manan. Manan Goyal, are you there? Deepti. Deepti, she has not joined. Yeah, sure. Any other difference? Yeah, Deepti, any difference between yes, she joined and she left. Anyways. So sure, any difference you would like to highlight? Soumya Deepa.
Sir, I tell.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Matang, you tell.
Sir, in limited LLP, two partners required, and sir, in private company, two or more shareholder required.
Limited liability partnership, any number, minimum two and any number of people can be there.
Yes,
But
sir.
in case of company, there is restriction on number of people to be admitted. Very good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
sir.
Any other difference?
So like in company, it has its own like corporate identity. Like the partner's liability is limited to its contribution,
Okay.
whereas in LLP, the liability isn't fixed to the partner's contribution. It would be based on the predefined contract or something.
Fine. Actually, let's proceed further. Next is regarding the designated partner. So every LLP shall have at least two designated partners. Designated partners manage day-to-day affairs of the LLP. Designated partners shall be individual. At least one of the designated partners shall be resident of India. So these designated partners are nothing but the managing directors. In case of the company, there are managing directors, or you can say the directors who actually take care of the business of LLP. If no one is designated partner, then all the partners will be the designated partner. Means LLP provides the liberty for all the partners to work as a active partner, or you can say designated partner. But where designated partners are there, then the designated partners will be having all the rights to manage the day-to-day affairs and to just run the business of the LLP. So designated partners shall be appointed by the partners in accordance with the LLP agreement. So if there are designated partners, then the clause of designated partners will be given in the LLP agreement. So a designated partner shall be an individual or a nominee of a partner, which is a body corporate. So in case of any body corporate is a partner of LLP, their nominee who is an individual may become the designated partner. So it is clearly mentioned over here that it has to be a natural person. The designated partner has to be an individual or a natural person, right? So if a LLP, suppose for example, two companies have formed one LLP, so both of them can actually give their nominees to form to be a designated partners, and these nominees will be the agents of the companies. Okay, so whatever they do over here in LLP will bind their companies respectively from where they have come. Means those companies who have nominated them. So designated partner shall be individual or a nominee partner, which is a body corporate. So in case of a body corporate is partner of LLP, the nominee who is the individual may become the designated partner. I've just now given you example of two LLPs, right? For example, one person is there and one LLP, one another company is there. So that particular person and the nominee of that company will become the designated partners to run the business of the LLP. So every designated partner shall have a designated partner identification. So it has to be this designated partner's identification number DPIN or director's identification number, whatever. Okay, so if they are already having this DIN, director's identification number, the same can be used. A prior consent of the person to be appointed as a designated is required. So same is in the case of the director. So when the company's directors are appointed, a consent from that person to be the director in this company will be required. In the same way, for becoming a designated partner, you need a prior consent. So LLP shall also file a particular of designated partners and his consent with the registrar of LLPs. So now the registrar of LLP is also a separate body. So it will previously some confusion was there, because initially when it started, then people thought that there will be this is how the company is managed. So the registrar of companies will be the registrar of LLPs also, but it is not so. So registrar of LLPs is different, and that is, and all the documents related to this has to be filed with the registrar of LLP. So now what are the liabilities of the designated partners? So designated partners shall be responsible for doing all the acts, matters and things as are required to be done by the limited liability partnership in respect of the compliance of the provisions of this act is specified in LLP agreement. Okay, so all the things which has been specified in the LLP agreement be done. So they are responsible to do all those acts. Okay, so designated partners and including the compliances and all, everything is to be seen. So a designated partner shall be liable to all the penalties imposed on the limited liability partnership for contravention of those provisions. So if the designated partner will contravene the provisions which are given in the LLP Act, or any fraudulent activity if he is doing, or any activity which is which actually may bring the companies in problem, or sorry, the LLP in problem, or you can say the other partners of LLP in problem, so he will be liable to pay a fine. So that will be his personal liability to pay the fine. Next is the name of the LLP. So every limited liability partnership shall have either the words LLP or the complete words limited liability partnership or the acronym LLP as the last words of its name. So this LLP normally is there. Nobody actually writes limited liability partnership. So they just write this acronym LLP at the end. For example, suppose Sakshi Enterprises. So Sakshi Enterprises is to be named. So it will be named as Sakshi Enterprises LLP if it is a limited liability partnership. Had this been a company, then it would have been Sakshi Enterprises Limited, or Sakshi Enterprises Private Limited in case of a private limited company. Or in case of a normal partnership, it should be Messrs Sakshi Enterprises. That's it. So no LLP, no nothing afterwards. That Messrs means it's a group of people. So where we use Mr. and Miss for a salutation for addressing some male or female. So Messrs is used in order to designate, or in order to it is a salutation used, or you can say it is one of the prefix which we use to put for addressing a unlimited partnership. Messrs, MESSERS, Messrs. Okay. So that is how. And in case of company and LLP, nothing is used before but afterwards. Okay, so this is what it is. And further, so before the incorporation of LLP, a promoter of the LLP shall apply for the reservation of the name proposed for the LLP, like in the case of company. So the registrar may reserve an applied rule if it is not desirable and not identical to or too nearly resemble with the name of an existing partnership firm, LLP, company or body corporate, then it may reject it. Okay. So otherwise, this can be booked as the name which which is LLP can be used. So there are certain rules and regulations for this. That one thing is that it should not be resembling, or it should not be against the dignity of the country. It should not resemble something which is something like India, Bharat, Hindustan should not be there. So there are certain rules regarding this. Okay, so those rules are to be followed in order to make the name as an LLP. So now nobody can just to keep the name Government of India LLP, right? So these type of names are not allowed, or Indian Army Cell LLP, or you cannot just write the name as if it is against the, so you cannot put the name XYZ terrorist LLP. So these type of names are not at all allowed to be done. So there are certain rules and regulations according to which the name of the LLP is first booked, and then only you can keep that particular name as such. Any confusion, any problem, or any question you want to ask over here regarding the name of LLP? Come on. Anyone, anything? All clear? Or nothing is clear? What should I assume? I'm an optimist, so I'm thinking that you are understanding, but you are not endorsing it. So that creates a doubt in my mind sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Next is the incorporation of LLP. For incorporation of a limited liability partnership, now what are the things? Two or more persons associated for carrying on a lawful business with a view to profit shall subscribe their names to the incorporation. So minimum 2 persons are required to be associated, or minimum 2 persons are required to subscribe the document of this incorporation in case of LLP, right? So minimum 2 persons are required over here, because less than 2 will not form a partnership. Okay. Next is the incorporation document shall be filed with the registrar of LLP with all the terms and conditions. Even here again, you need not to file any agreement over here. If agreement is there, then agreement is to be filed along with. Otherwise, if you do not have any agreement, schedule 1 will be applicable, and there is no need to file any extra document except this thing. So a statement made by either an advocate or a company secretary or a chartered accountant or a cost accountant that all the requirements of this act and the rules made thereunder have been complied with in respect of the incorporation and matters precedent and incidental thereto. So these professionals will charge something from you, and there will be a statement which will be given, which will bound them also, because it is a statement given by them with all the responsibility that they have checked all the documents and nothing is wrong in it. So such a statement is to be provided, and a chartered accountant, company secretary, or whatever professional you go to, he will just verify all these things and then only will give you a certificate in this regard. And that certificate, along with the incorporation and the agreement, if there is any, you can file with the registrar of LLPs. Now, what are the contents of the incorporation documents? So number one, it has to be in a prescribed form. You can even download this prescribed form from the internet also. You just put this form of incorporation of LLP in Rajasthan, you will get it. Okay, so the state the name of the limited liability partnership, state the proposed business of the limited liability partnership, the registered office, or you can say the address of the registered office of LLP, name and address of the persons who are the partners or who are the subscribers to it, state the name and the address of the persons who will be designated partners of the LLP, contain such other information concerning the proposed limited liability partnership as may be prescribed will be there. So there are certain contents which are there. So last point comprises of many things which can be there in the form. So you can just download the form over there and you can see what are the requirements of a limited liability partnership which have to be fulfilled. Okay. This is registration of LLP or incorporation registration or certificate of incorporation. So registration, how the registration will happen. So on filing the incorporation document, registrar shall retain and register the incorporation document. This registration of document is the registration of LLP, and when the registered becomes incorporated. So when it will be incorporated, it will be registered, it will become incorporated. So upon registration of incorporation of document, the registrar will give a certificate that a LLP is incorporated by the name specified therein, and the certificate is called incorporation certificate of LLP. So in this way, so on the date on which this is a conclusive proof of the incorporation of the LLP, and the date on which this certificate is issued, that will be the birthday of the LLP. Likewise, in case of companies, when the companies get issued their certificate of incorporation from the registrar of companies, that is called the happy birthday of the company. So in the same way, the birthday of the company is the date, or the LLP is the date on which the LLP has got issued the certificate. Okay, so the incorporation certificate shall be conclusive evidence that the limited liability partnership has been formed, it has taken birth by the name specified therein. The certificate shall be signed by the registrar and authenticated by his official seal. So the certificate of incorporation shall be conclusive evidence that the LLP is incorporated by the name specified therein. Now, what is the effect of the registration? So on registration, the LLP shall by its name be capable of suing and being sued, acquiring, owning, holding, developing, disposing of property, whether movable, immovable, tangible, intangible, having a common seal if it is decided to have one, and during and doing and suffering all such other acts and things as a body corporate may lawfully do and suffer. So what the thing is now, this last line means that it will be as good as that of a small private limited company. So company is a body corporate, LLP itself also is a body corporate. It is now having its separate legal entity. The star has born now. So the LLP has born now. Okay. So to do the business, to touch the heights of the success in the future with the help of the designated partners. Okay. So this is the effect of the registration, that it gives rise to a artificial or a corporate personality which is capable of doing everything what a company can do. Okay, it is also capable of doing everything what in business a natural person can do, except the things which naturally can be done. Okay, next is holding out. So any act of representing himself or knowingly permits himself to be represented to be a partner of the limited liability partnership is called the act of holding out. So any person holding out as of the partner is liable to any person who has, on the faith of any such representation, given any credit to LLP. It is not relevant that the person holding out to be a partner does or does not know the representation has reached the person so giving credit. So this is a foolishness of doing this holding out. So if somebody makes someone else believe that he is the partner of the LLP, and believing on this fact, if some third party gives a loan to LLP, then this particular partner will be deemed to be the partner of the LLP only in case of liability and not in case of benefits. Okay, so where any credit is received by the LLP as a result of such representation, LLP shall be liable to extent of the credit received by it or any financial benefit derived on this liability of the LLP shall be without prejudice to the liability of the person so representing himself or represented to be a partner. So it is just like that a acting on behalf of others. So just like two persons are standing and one person has sold the car of other and other person is actually allowing him to do that. So this person will be called as a partner in the holding out, you can say, or an agent by holding out, and he will bind the LLP with all his acts, and LLP will be bound by that. So if any credit is accepted by LLP by effect of any person who holds out to be a partner of the LLP will be responsible particularly for that debt. And if LLP is not able to pay that debt, this partner who is partner by holding out will also be held responsible. Okay. The legal representative of a partner shall not be liable. So where after a partner's death, the business is continued in the same limited liability partnership name, the continued use of the name of the deceased partner's name as a part thereof shall not itself make the legal representative of the estate liable for any act of the limited liability partnership done after his death. So this is a very, very important and very, very good point in LLP. Now, in case of partnership, what happens? Even if some partner has died or has retired, so he has to declare in the newspaper that I am retiring, or the representative should tell in the newspaper that so and so partner has died and he was partner in so and so firm, and because he has died, now there is there will be no liability of the legal representative for any of the act done on the behalf of such partner who has died or retired. So this type of declaration had to be given in case of uh, partnership, but in case of limited liability partnership, neither such declaration is to be given. It is understood that the person will not be liable because it is a limited liability partnership. So how come the people, those who are the other persons than that of the partner, is liable? So they will not be liable at all. And even this particular partner will be liable only to the extent of the contribution given by him and nothing more than that. Next is unlimited liability in case of fraud. So this is a very, very important point, or you can say this is something which is how this limited liability will become unlimited liability partnership. Okay, so LLP will become ULP when? So liability of LLP and its fraudulent partners shall be unlimited if an act carried on by a limited liability partnership or any of its partners is with intent to defraud the creditors or any other person, or for a fraudulent purpose. So they have not yet defrauded, but they have just created it for a fraudulent purpose, and before they have deceived anyone, the information has gone to the government, and then the government can dissolve such type uh, of company, and further the partners will be held unlimitedly liable in that case. So the liability of a limited liability partnership and partners who acted with the intent to defraud creditors or for any fraudulent purpose shall become unlimited for all or any of the debts or other liabilities of the LLP. Means not only for this debt, for every other thing also it will become unlimited. Okay, so it is strictly prohibited that one may make a misuse of such type of activity. Next is partners transferable interest. So right of the partners to share the profits and losses of the limited liability partnership and to receive the distribution in accordance with the limited liability partnership agreement are transferable either wholly or in part, which was not possible in case of unlimited partnership. So accordingly, a partner may transfer all or any of his rights wholly or in part. So the transfer of any rights by any partner does not cause the disassociation of the partner or a dissolution or a winding up of the limited liability partnership. Okay, so here the partner's right is transferable. So no transfer of management and control. This is again one important thing. So any transfer of any transferable interest or right by the partners does neither makes the transferee a partner nor give any additional rights. The transfer of the transferable right does not the transferee or does the transfer of transferable right does not the transferee or the assignee to participate, means does not allow. Actually this is something, just a moment. Okay, so it does not allows the transferee or assignee to participate in the management and control of the activities of the limited liability partnership or access information concerning the transaction of the limited liability partnership. Now here the transfer of management and control will not happen. Okay, so the partner's interest can be transferred, okay, to the share the profits and losses and to receive the distribution in accordance with the means. If there is any transfer of interest by a active partner, the person to whom the interest will be transferred will become a dormant partner. Means he will only be liable to to profit and losses and to receive the distribution accordance with the agreement of the LLP, but he will not be able to participate in the management and control of the activities of the LLP, and he cannot also access the information concerning the transaction of the LLP. So he has to sit home and see quietly what the other partners are doing. So this is a very, very important point, because transfer of interest is there, but no transfer of management and control will happen even if then, because ultimately the people, those who have to work together, they have to have some cordial relation. Okay, and if this cordial relation is not there, then nothing can happen. That's why this transfer of rights have been made possible, but without transferring the management and control. Okay. Further, the business transaction will partner with a limited liability partnership. So our partner may lend money to and transact other business with the limited liability partnership and has the same rights and obligation with respect to the loan or other transaction as a person who is not a partner. Okay, so very simple. Further, what about the winding up of the tribunal? The winding up by the tribunal. If the LLP decides that the LLP be wound up by the tribunal, it can be done. Or if for a period of more than 6 months, the number of partners of the limited liability partnership is reduced to below 2. So it is allowed that if somebody, some LLP may be having a minimum partners of 2 and one partner has died. Okay, so it will not get terminated immediately. So in 6 months, the other partner should join the LLP. Otherwise, then it will be wound up by the order of the tribunal. Next is if the limited liability partnership is unable to pay its debts, then also it will be closed. So if the limited liability partnership has acted against the interest of the sovereignty integrity of India, then also it is subject to close down. If the limited liability partnership has made a default in filing with the registrar a statement of accounts, solvency, or any annual return for any 5 consecutive financial years, then also it can be wound up. And further, if the tribunal is of the opinion that it is just and equitable that the LLP should be closed or wound up, it will be wound up. So these are the grounds on the basis of which the tribunal can wind up the business of LLP. Next is about the foreign limited liability partnership. It is only given that what does it mean. So foreign limited liability partnership means a limited liability partnership formed, incorporated or registered outside India, which establishes a place of business in India, will be called as foreign limited liability partnership. So your code doesn't comprise of the provisions regarding further provisions regarding this foreign limited liability partnership at all. Okay, so this is the last slide, and that's the end of your course. So we have completed your entire course. If you want to just have a look of that, I can show it to you over here. Okay, but it doesn't mean that I will stop taking the classes. Okay, so it is not like that. So you keep on coming, because we will be having revision. A lot of work is still pending. So we will be having revision also, and by revision we will be having some quizzes, some situation, so that whatever you have studied till now, it will be revised and you will be able to retain it for a longer period of time. And that what is the purpose of teaching you this course. The one of the objective of this course is that whosoever is going to have their own businesses, this course will help you out in running your own businesses, your enterprise, your startup, if you want to go for. So this is something which you must be aware of, so that you are able to perform your things by your own. Okay, so just let me just show you or take you to the course what we have fulfilled, we have completed, and then we will proceed further. What happened? Why so can't display the content? Yeah, here it is. So just see, after dissolution of firm, we have gone with the limited liability partnership, LLP agreement, its contents we have discussed. Difference between partnership, LLP and company, I have already given you a assignment on that. Difference between LLP, partnership, LLP, this is in 2 classes it has to be there, but we have finished it off because, and now there are case laws, important topics, videos, presentations by the students, and these all things are remaining. So let me give you some presentation so that you can also make some presentation in the class. Would that be okay? Yes, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I will just form certain groups in which you may have to give the presentation, and you will be given only one chance for presenting. Okay, and half an hour's time also. So you prepare your own topics, or you want me to give you topics, you tell, or otherwise what I will do is that Shaurya, just prepare a list of the topics on which presentations can be done. Divide your course amongst all of your colleagues, and everyone for 15 minutes will be giving a presentation in the class. So every day we will be having 3 presentations.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
and on the basis of this presentation, I will give some marks to all.
Any topics?
Let us see how many classes are remaining. So remaining classes, and I will take some classes for your quizzes. So if you want quizzes to happen afterwards, we can take it afterwards also, so that you can revise the
Sir?
things, these presentation of yours, and then we will be having the quizzes. Yeah, Matang, you want to say something?
Sir, let's start with discussion followed by quiz, and at the last we'll have presentation.
What will be the use of such presentation if you are not at all able to learn out of it and earn marks in the quizzes? What will be the use of? See, I have given you all my PPTs. If you see your file, all the PPTs are over there. Even some of the objective types are. So you need not to do any mehnat in order to do prepare the presentation. It's already with you. You can use my presentation, copy and paste, and if you want to put some creativity, you are most welcome, my dear.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
But yeah,
So the
please
presentation.
I will not just treat it as a cheating or something like that, which you will be doing. No, nothing like that, my dear. This is for your use. I have prepared it from various other sources. You would also have prepared from the same sources. No problem at all. But the thing is that you must understand that if you want to bring some put some creativity in it, for example, some movie clip or something like that, you want to show it in the class, you are most welcome to just have your creativity done with that. So that is what I want. And then afterwards, let us fix up the dates of the quizzes. I will get back to you on this probably by the end of the day. Then that how can we just start it up and how can we end it up? Okay, and this presentation will be carrying certain marks which you have to just do it in the class. So every day we can have 2 student presentation or something like that in the class itself, so that we may proceed further and everyone will be able to present online, and we will be able to just revise this course, and you will be able to earn marks out of whatever you have learned. So those quizzes will help you in earning marks on the basis of the learning which has happened. Would that be okay? Matang, do you agree with this?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. Rakesh, you wanted to say something. I'm sorry, I was not able to take you up at that time.
So I was asking individually or group, sir.
Sorry?
I was asking the presentations should be individually or group.
What do you want?
I'm okay with anything, sir.
So those who want to present in group, they can present in group of 2, maybe 3. I think 2 will be better. And because we are very less, and even because the course is also to be divided, so it should cover almost the entire course. Or you can take your own topics out of the portion which is being given to you. You can choose one topic of the presentation of which you can make good in 15 minutes. So 15 minutes should not be, it should not exceed that, right, in any of the ways. Okay, so prepare yourself, and in that 15 minutes, 10 minutes will be your presentation, and 5 minutes will be the discussion in which the questions will be asked from your class fellows to you. Okay, and I will see how much presentation, how much because this particular software Teams is an excellent software. This will tell me who is presenting and who is participating. So there are lines and bars which comes up that people are participating or not. So to the extent of the participation of the people, I will be awarding the marks. Those who are not participating, they will not be given any marks in that. Okay, so that will be the criteria. Is that okay? Chali, let me take the attendance. Gautam Godra, Harshit Kumawat, Hemant Kumar Khatti, Kartik Rajput, Manan
Present,
Goyal,
sir.
Matank Sharma, Mukul Swami, Nandini
Yes, sir.
Khandelwal, Parth Narendra Bhai, Prakash Chaudhary, Pushpendra Pal Singh, Rahul Javaria, Rakesh Raika, Ravi
Present, sir.
Raman, Mohammed Modi, Soumya,
Yes.
Sandeep Singh
Present.
Bhati, Shaurya Dixit, Soumya Deepa Saha, Tarun
Present, sir.
Yes, sir.
Kirti Bai Fultaria.
Present, sir.
Fine. So this is the attendance, and let me just
Okay, sir.
sign off for the day.
See you on Monday, sir.
Yeah, no, why on Monday? Tomorrow is your class.